Hello, welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. My name is Amanda and this is Birch and Lily, where I talk about all of the crafty goodness that I've been up to over the past couple weeks. Today is a little bit of a different episode. I am going to be starting a new series on my channel, which is basically going to be a yarn collection and destash in one. I probably will also do a series like this as well with all of my cross-stitch items, but we'll start off with the yarn today. I will say that everything that I go through, if I am going to be destashing anything, I will probably wait until the end of the series is done and then do a large sale on my Instagram. So on that note, if you are looking to find me on other places on the internet, you can find me on Instagram at birch.and.lily, and you can also find my knitting patterns on Ravelry and Lovecrafts, which will be linked down below. So yeah, I'm going to be going through my gobstopper balls today. I'll show you quickly. This is a well, this one's falling apart a little bit, but this is a gobstopper ball. It's basically just a skein of self-striping yarn that has been pre-wound for you and ready to go. So I have a basket of those that I'm going to go through today. I am going to switch my angle here so that you can see my hands, and it'll be a little bit easier to see the skein close up. So let's jump on into episode 1 of the Yarn Destash. Okay, should we look at some yarn? So the first thing I have here technically is not a gobstopper ball, but it is pre-wound, so we'll call it close enough. This is from Fiberlia? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You can see it on the screen here. This is a self-striping colorway called Minty. I'm not sure about this one. Let me grab, actually, so I also have this other one from them in the colorway Kelp, and I think this one calls to me more than this one. So I think for now, maybe I'll have a maybe pile. I do also have a bag ready for anything that I for sure am going to donate, but let's do a maybe pile as well. I'll definitely keep Kelp, and I'm going to put Mint in the maybe pile for now. So the next gobstopper I have here is from Nomadic Yarns. This colorway is Expectations versus Reality. It's coming undone a little bit. I might have to kind of go and rewind it a little bit. But this is definitely a colorway that my husband, I think, would wear. And I do prefer to knit him self-striping socks because his feet are massive. He has size 12 feet. So I definitely will be keeping this skein so that I am able to knit him a pair of socks. This is a 75-25 on their trusty sock. Next here I have a skein from Scrumptious Pearl. This is on their 80-20 Spring Flowers. Definitely keeping this, definitely my kind of color. I'm hoping going through all of these skeins will also inspire me to cast on some more projects, just kind of seeing what I have kicking around that I haven't looked at in a while. So Spring Flowers here I will definitely be keeping. Also has a hair on it. That's always fun. Here is another one from Nomadic Yarns. Again on, oh no, this is a different base. This is their Twisty Sock, which is an 80-20, and it's called When You Play the Game of Thrones. I do really like this one. It, I believe, works up in like a rainbow, or quite close to. So I think I will for sure keep this one. If anything, I'll knit my husband a pair of socks and then use the leftovers to knit me a pair of socks. It seems everything in here has hair on it, so I apologize for that. It's all dog fur, I promise. But this skein is definitely going to be staying with me. Okay, here is one I think I'm a little bit more willing to part with. Another Nomadic Yarns. This is called Spark Joy, again on their 80-20 base. It's not sparking joy. This just isn't really my color scheme. I think someone else would be able to get a lot better use out of this and enjoy it more than I will. More Nomadic Yarns. It seems most of my gobstoppers are from Nomadic Yarns. I went through a phase where I really enjoyed their yarn. So again, another Nomadic Yarns on the 80-20 base. This is called the Burrow. It's definitely more of a muted color, but I do really, really like it. And yeah, I will be keeping this one for sure. This skein has a story behind it. This is from Haverland. This is called Padme on their 80-20 base. I actually had started knitting a pair of socks out of this, and I almost had the full sock done, and then I realized it did not fit. I had cast on too few stitches, and it was the wrong size for my foot, and I unwound the whole thing and wound it back up into a gobstopper ball. But I do really want to still knit a pair of socks out of this. It just kind of needed a bit of a break in timeout because of the issues that I had, which were all my fault, not the yarn. But I will be keeping this skein for sure. Another skein from Haverland here, again on their 80/20. This is called Skywalker. So it is a Star Wars based skein, which means I will for sure be keeping it because anything Star Wars themed I love to knit up for my husband. He's definitely a fan. So these will be a pair of socks for him at some point. This skein here is actually another story of casting on and tearing apart. This is from Twisted Limon in the colorway Peppermint Bark on their 75/25. And again, I had cast on a pair of socks with this. I was trying a new pattern. I believe it's the Geek Socks pattern on Ravelry, and I just did not like how it was working up with this yarn. A couple of the colors, striping wise, especially this one here and the mint, are very close together, and the pattern just wasn't showing up the way that I really wanted it to. So I do want to knit up a pair of socks in these, but the pattern I had chosen was not correct, and I tore it out and rewound it up into a ball. So maybe this will be a Christmas pair of socks this coming year. This pretty skein is from Tiny Human Knits. She doesn't wind her yarn up into gobstopper balls anymore, so this was from quite a while ago. This colorway is called Sunscape Gardens on an 80/20. So pretty. I love this so much. I have such a hard time knitting up my gobstopper balls because they look so gorgeous wound up that I just don't want to mess it up. But these really, really need to be a pair of socks. I need to go on the hunt for some patterns that work well with self-striping yarn so that I'm not just always knitting vanilla socks out of them, and I feel like that would make me use my self-striping yarn more. So this skein is actually in a bag. This is from Lollipop Yarn. All of her self-striping comes pre-wound into gobstopper balls, and it also comes with a mini. So let me open this little bag up. What is this colorway? It's called Smile, and she does name every single stripe in her colorways, which is really cool. This is on the Quintessential base, which is an 80/20. So the mini skein that comes with this is meant to be used for heels, toes, and cuffs. And then here is the main self-striping. Look how beautiful this is. Oh my goodness. Keeping it in that bag kind of takes away from how beautiful the yarn is because it mutes it out. But I'm keeping this for sure, and I might actually leave this to the side and cast on a pair of socks in it very soon because I love this a lot. So another kind of smooshed ball here. This is another one from Nomadic Yarns in the colorway Dobby's a Free Elf. Again on the 80/20. These colors just aren't me either. So I think I'm going to pass this skein along as well. But I'll probably take a chance to just rewind it up because it's been in the basket a while and it's kind of coming apart. But yeah, I think I'm going to pass this one on. Here's another really pretty skein from Scrumptious Pearl. This colorway is called Knock Your Socks Off, and again this is the 80/20 base. I'll be keeping this one. Teal and purple are some of my favorite colors, so I definitely think I can get some use out of this one. And another Scrumptious Pearl. Same base, but this is called Sprinkles. Again, really pretty. I will be keeping this one. I can think of a couple people who would really love a pair of socks in this color. So this is another Scrumptious Pearl skein. This one is actually, it includes a mini skein as well with it. Does the mini have a name? Nope. But this definitely came as a set. This here is called Snow Bunny on the 80/20. I'll be keeping these. I do wish this mini wasn't so close to the rest of the colors in here. I might keep the mini aside and not use it for these socks just because it is so similar. I like to have a little bit of contrast with my heels and toes. So I think I will set this mini aside because I definitely will use it, and this I will keep in my gobstopper ball basket. This here is another skein from Nomadic Yarns. This is called Mischief Managed, 80/20. I think I will keep this one as well. It's definitely not a me color, but I know some men in my life who would probably enjoy just a really neutral pair of socks, so this one will stay with me as well. Another Tiny Human knit skein. This is called Summer Schedule. Very pretty. I love this one a lot. It's different than a lot of things I have in my collection. I'm definitely more of like a purple and teal type person. So I like that this is a little bit different, and I'm going to keep it. This here again is a really different colorway, and I love it. It's from Twisted Lemon in Pumpkin Spice. So I think I'll have to pull these aside for a fall pair of socks. I'm trying to, well, not trying, but I do like to knit more seasonally. So the fact that this is more of a fall themed yarn, I think would make a perfect fall knitting project. So yeah. Now I'm losing some tags on some of these. It looks like they've come untied. So hopefully I will be able to figure out what is what, and if I'm not able to, I'll just show it to you without a name and we'll go with that. But another skein here from Scrumptious Pearl. This is called Divination. I don't know how I feel about this one. Not that it isn't beautiful, but it's, maybe my husband would like a pair of socks in this, but I know I don't think I would enjoy, well, not that I wouldn't enjoy it, but this isn't my sort of color. I think I'm going to put this into the maybe pile as well. Another fall themed yarn from Scrumptious Pearl. Not fall themed. Looks fall themed though. This is called Birdie Bots. I definitely will be keeping this for a fall knit. I don't have a lot of fall colored yarns. Everything is really bright and springy and summery, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this for another fall themed knit. And more Scrumptious Pearl. Here's another one of those sock sets, and again, this mini is exactly the color of this stripe, so I don't think I would enjoy using it with the ball at least. So I'm going to set this aside just in my collection of minis, and I will use it for a different project. But I do think I'll keep this yarn. It is technically Christmas themed. Not very Christmassy in my opinion, but this is called Christmas Cactus. I think my sister would really love a pair of socks out of this yarn, so I will be keeping this with her in mind. Now, I don't know if Stray Cat Socks is dyeing yarn anymore, or what is going on. I have checked her shop recently. She did have yarn in there a little while ago, and now it looks like she's on vacation again. So I'm not 100% sure, but I do really love her yarn. This colorway is called Parchment, and it is a 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. But so pretty. I like how muted it is, but it still has this beautiful teal in it, so definitely not getting rid of this. I'm sure you could tell by the way I'm talking about it. Gorgeous skein. This here is another Tiny Human Knits yarn. A year or two ago, she did a colorway based off of the Crazy Sock Ladies logo, I believe it was. So this is that. All I have is this tiny little tag, but I do remember that it is from Tiny Human Knits. So I will be keeping this skein. So pretty. I love how variegated, well, I guess not really variegated, it's more of a tonal, but the colors in this are so pretty. I'm not sure if that's something that she is dyeing anymore. I haven't seen it in her shop at all lately. This here is another Scrumptious Pearl, Pumpkin Spice, and Everything Nice. This is on a stellina base. I'm not sure if you can see the sparkle, but I will be keeping this as well. Like I said, I don't have a lot of fall colorways, and this is a really beautiful one. Plus the sparkle is nice. I don't knit up with stellina a lot, but the odd time it's really fun. This skein here from Nomadic Yarns I definitely bought with my husband in mind, and I will be keeping it with my husband in mind. This is called Knit Folk on their 80/20 base. It's really pretty with this like sea foamy teal and mossy green. It's really beautiful, and I think it will make a lovely pair of socks for him. Starting to find some of my missing tags. Now it's just a matter of what belongs to what. So I'm pretty positive this tag here is the correct one. This is Nomadic Yarns Honey Bear on their 80/20 base, and I will be keeping this one Something about teal just really sucks me in. And I do love this beautiful warm brown that's in there with it as well. And on the topic of finding correct tags, I believe this one goes with this skein as well. This is Nomadic Yarns Kiss the Girl on their 7525. I'm going to let this one go. It's a little too bright for my liking. I believe I purchased this on a Destash a couple years ago, but it's neat and it's different, but I don't think I would reach for a pair of socks in this color, and I can't think of any other people who would as well, so I will let someone else get some use out of the skein instead. This pretty skein here is from Sweet Sparrow Yarns. I'm not sure if she does any self-striping anymore. She does definitely still dye yarn, but I think self-striping is not something that she does very often. This is called Hurry Home to You on her 7525 base with some stellina included, and it's beautiful. Definitely keeping this one to knit up at some point. My hands need to move a lot faster than they already do. This skein does not have a tag, but this is another one of those I started knitting it and tore it out skeins, but I definitely do want to knit this one up again. I love it very much. This is called Cherry Mousse from Tiny Human Knits. It is again on their stellina base, so I'm not sure the exact content of it, but I do want to keep this and re-knit it up at some point. It just got buried in the bottom of all my project bags and sat for too long, and then I had kind of lost my steam on it, so pull this out again at some point and cast on another pair of socks with it. I think this tag belongs to this yarn here. This is Scrumptious Pearl Snow Cone on their 8020. I think I'll keep this as well. This screams my sister to me, so she's going to be getting a lot of pairs of socks the way it looks like it. If she's watching this, Kayla, I hope you like this skein because it's calling you to me. Got another lollipop yarn here. This is the colorway Saturday Morning on their 8020 base. I don't think I need to open this one up because the bag is quite clear, but it's just a really pretty mix of blues with a pretty blue mini. Definitely keeping this. I love me some blue and teal and gray. It's definitely a me color. This here is another gorgeous fall themed skein that I will be keeping. I keep saying stuff is fall themed and then it's definitely not fall. This is called Yuletide, so I guess it's a Christmas skein. 8020. I'm keeping it. I might knit it up in the fall for a Christmas pair of socks because it kind of crosses over seasons, I think, in my opinion. So we'll be keeping this one. Getting close to the end. This is the only loose tag I have left, so it must go with this skein. This is Twisted Limon, and the colorway is Dreamcatcher, 7525. I will be keeping this one as well. Retie this onto there. I really like this color. I love how pastel and muted out it is. It definitely reminds me of like children's nighttime mobiles or something. I don't know. The colors are just so sweet. And I love this speckled stripe in there. I think this is another one I'm going to be willing to let go. I'm pretty sure I showed another skein at some point in this video that is very similar to this one, so I'm willing to let this one leave my stash. This is Nomadic Yarns Beach Cruise on the 7525 base. And that is going to, wow, it's very smushed. This is going to go into my Destash pile. Another skein from Haverland. This here is called Country Store, and it is on a 8515, but it does have like tweed bits in it. So I thought this was kind of neat. It definitely doesn't feel rustic, but it looks rustic, so I'll definitely be keeping this one. I don't think I have a lot of skeins that are more of this earthy tone, so I would love to have something in my stash like this, just in case I can think of someone who needs a pair of socks. So that is Country Store. Another lollipop yarn skein here, and again it's in a clear bag, so I will just keep it in here. But this colorway is Jingle All the Way. This is on their 8020 base as well. It comes with this really cute red mini. I will be keeping this for sure. I love knitting self-striping socks at Christmas. There's something so fun about it. And the last 3 skeins in here I've been waiting on because they're in crinkly little bags, but I don't want to take them out because the bags do have the name. These are all from Tiny Human Knits. Hopefully the crinkling is not too bad. This here is called Love You Not, 80/20 base. And it is a mix of like a mauve, green, gray, creams. Really pretty. Keeping this one. This here is called Vintage. Also keeping this one for sure. And finally, Almond Roca. Almond Roca is definitely one of my favorite baking Christmassy themed treats. So this one's staying with me as well. Not getting rid of her. So I thought I would give you a shot of what I've decided to pass on. I have to say, self-striping yarn is my weakness, so I'm pretty pleased with getting rid of, what, 6 skeins here? That's pretty impressive for me. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you missed it, I am going to be finishing this whole series, going through all my yarn, and then I will be putting all of the skeins that I have chosen to destash up on my Instagram and destashing them there. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to check my Instagram out down below. It is linked in the description, and keep an eye out for that coming soon. But I also wanted to show you the basket now that it's reorganized, which probably means adjusting my camera. I have to see my microphone, but my basket is refilled. I've definitely given myself some more space in here. And I'm really happy with what I did decide to part with, so feels like a successful day. So that is everything that I have for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. It helps me out a lot on this channel. And I will see you all in the next episode. I do upload Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time every week. So thank you again for joining me, and I will see you again later. Bye!